Welcome to the Champion's Corner, where sales training meets the mindset of a champion. I'm Mark Kelly McLean, former Canadian champion, world bronze medalist, and your coach in the world of sales. I took the discipline, focus, and resilience from boxing and brought it into business. Here, we turn sales pros into sales champions with real tactics and winning mindsets. So lace up, keep your guard up, and let's get to work. You're in the Champion's Corner. Hello, everybody. Mark Kelly McLean here. Welcome back to the Champion's Corner. We are now round 7, and the topic is ring generalship. And you know, it's funny. It's a term you don't hear a lot outside of the real boxing circles, but it's one of the most important concepts in the sport. In fact, when judges score a fight, one of the categories they look at is ring generalship, which simply means who is controlling the fight. Not who's throwing the most punches or more punches, not who looks busier, but who is dictating the pace, the distance, and the terms of engagement. And the reason this matters is because the same principle applies directly to sales. You know, a boxing truth is the ring general runs a fight. When you watch a fight closely, you can usually tell pretty quickly who the ring general is. One fighter is stepping forward with purpose. You know, they're controlling the distance. They're deciding when exchanges happen. The other is kind of backing up, reacting, adjusting late. Even if both fighters are skilled, only one is usually in control. That's ring generalship. Now, the sales translation for that, control the process, not the person. Now, here's where salespeople get this wrong. They think control means being aggressive. It doesn't. You're not controlling the person, you're controlling the process. That means setting the agenda, defining next steps, establishing timelines, identifying decision makers very early. Now, that's really important, because if you don't control the process, the client definitely will. And when that happens, deals stall, timelines stretch, and decisions fade. I want to talk to you about owning the center of the ring, which is really important. In boxing, controlling the center of the ring means you're controlling the fight. You're not on the ropes. You're not reacting. You're dictating. In sales, the center of the ring is the decision-making process. If you're waiting on replies, chasing emails, hoping things move forward, man, you're on the ropes, okay? If you're confirming next steps, aligning stakeholders, setting expectations, you're in control. You know, I remember even my amateur days, I fought often and I had many fights. And one of my skills was controlling the center of the ring. And I always did feel like I was in control when I had the center of the ring. And if my back ever touched the ropes, I'd spin off the ropes very quickly and get myself back into the center of the ring. There was something about the pace. I always felt I could control the pace when I was in the center of the ring. I also enjoyed the space. I mean, when you're in the center of the ring, you can move left, you can move right. It's not like being on the ropes. When you're in the center of the ring, you've got lots of room to move. I wanted to talk to you as well about pace control, when to push and when to pause. You know, great fighters don't fight just at one speed. You know, they slow things down, speed things up. Oftentimes they can pause, then explode when there's an opening. In sales, it's the same. Push too fast. If you push too fast, you create resistance. If you move too slow, you lose momentum. Great sales professionals understand timing. They know when to say, let's move this forward, and when to say, let's take a step back for a second. That's control. Let's look at what losing control looks like. You know, we've seen this before. A deal starts strong. Then suddenly, you know, we need more time. Let's revisit next quarter. We're still reviewing internally. And now you're chasing, following up, checking in, waiting. That's not selling. That's reacting. That's being pushed to the ropes. Okay? So how do you take control back? Great fighters don't stay on the ropes. They pivot. They reset. In sales, that moment sounds like, let's reset for a second. Can we align on what needs to happen to move this forward? Or you might hear, can we walk through the decision process together so we're both clear on next steps? That's not pressure. That's professionalism. That's ring generalship. I can tell you though that calm controls wins. I mean, here's the key. Ring generalship it's not loud. It's not aggressive. It's calm. It's very confident. The client doesn't feel pushed. They feel guided. And that's why it works. You know, when you're looking at championship closing, at this stage, it's no longer about who has the best pitch. It's about who is more in control of the process. Because in boxing, the fighter who controls the fight wins the round. And in sales, the professional who controls the process wins the deal. You know, in boxing, ring general doesn't chase the fight. They make the fight come to them. And in sales, when you control the process, you stop chasing deals and you start closing them. You know, there's a lot of similarities between winning a fight and closing a deal. You just get that feeling of success, and it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. If you get a chance, check out my website, markkellyMclean.com. MarkKellymclean, no spaces.com. I think you'll like it. Thank you. Bye now.
That's it for this round of the Champions Corner. If you're serious about leveling up, head over to markkellymclean.com and join my free VIP club. You'll get access to knockout sales strategies in every new podcast episode. While you're there, sign up for my sales training program or book me to lead a seminar for your team. I'm Mark Kelly McLean. Stay sharp, stay hungry, and I'll see you in the next episode.